Today I'm going to talk about the harm principle, which was an idea instituted by John Stuart Mill. John Stuart Mill was a British philosopher, economist, and civil servant. Of his major works were Utilitarianism, On the Subjection of Woman, Principles of Political Economy, and On Liberty. More specifically, On Liberty goes through and talks about nature and the limits of power. John Stuart Mill's writings on liberty do not apply to those not capable of self-governance. So, barbaric societies, young children, mentally handicapped or impaired, people along those lines that can't make decisions for themselves. Also, in On Liberty, he introduces the harm principle, which is what we're here to talk about. The harm principle, according to John Stuart Mill, is that principle is that the sole end for which mankind are warranted individually or collectively in interfering with the liberty of action of any of their number is self-protection. That the only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent the harm to others. Basically, what he is saying in this quote is that, or in the principle, is that an individual's liberty can only be regulated or controlled by a higher governing authority if, in fact, their liberty and their choices with their liberty will negatively impact the liberty of another individual. Ultimately, John Stuart Mill's harm principle has economic implications. One of these implications is regulation. The harm principles justify regulations of economies by government in the sense that a government can inhibit the rights of an individual if their actions will cause harm to another individual or corporation. Antitrust laws are an example of this because a government regulates monopolies. It helps in prohibiting that organization which has their individual right to make as much money as they want from harming consumers by charging outlandish prices, which infringes on their liberty to have a fair cost of the good that they are purchasing. Ultimately, the harm principle also affects welfare and its use with people who cannot prevent their own harm. Since an individual in a deprived economic situation cannot prevent harm, they are unable to increase their liberty. This allows for the government to step in to help redistribute wealth to increase their wealth, these individuals' wealth, and increase their liberty. Overall, the harm principle is a fundamental idea of liberty and can continue to impact the actions and governance of individuals.